there is a fundamental difference in the copywriting approach that is taught and used at Agora that I fell in love with, that really became kind of the genesis or the foundation of the E5 method, and the copywriting method that is most often taught in the internet marketing world. There is a fundamental difference, and that fundamental difference really impedes the progress of most of the copywriters or most of the people that try to learn copywriting from the IM approach. You see, the internet marketing approach and the way that copy was kind of always taught was really based on the foundation of magnificent word choice, right? It was all about the words that you used. It was all about the phrases that you used, right? The incredible steroid-like traffic generation system that brings a tsunami of buyers, right? It was all about the words. It was this idea that, right, if I use these extremely exciting, compelling, right, almost hyperbolic words, that makes for good copy. This is why that back in the day, almost every single copywriting training, what did it came with? What did they include? They almost always included like a power word list. You know, these are the power words. Astonishing. Let me see how often I can sprinkle in astonishing throughout the copy, right? Like magnet, all these power words. And so, right, everybody became trained on words. It's the words. That's why, like, when Kyle was showing, and I'm gonna get to the point in just a little bit, bear with me. When Kyle was going through his swipes and examples, right, and I was paying attention to the room, I could see people like agonizing over, almost becoming overwhelmed with the copy. Let me look at the copy. What did he say there? What's the word there? Is there like a power word being used in there, right? And I said to you guys that it's not the words that I want you to pay attention to. It's not the words, the exact word choice that I want you to model and swipe. It's not the one phrase in the third sentence of the fourth paragraph that I want you to swipe. It's the structure. You see, because I said that there's a fundamental difference in the copy approach that Agora uses compared to the IM world. In the IM world, it's all about the magnificence of the words that you use. But in the Agora world, it's all about the magnificence of the argument. It's all about the magnificence of the argument. I wrote down to share with you, right, that ultimately, and this is why I say this is a fundamental difference. It's a fundamental difference in the way that I think about crafting campaigns. The way I write, the words that I use, the structure of the sentences, much of which I'm gonna just show you some little things today, right? What I think about is it's about a compelling argument, not compelling words. Meaning I'm not trying to convince people that this is great because I use the word magnificent, amazing, fantastic, steroid-like. It's not compelling because of solely the words that I use, right? It's compelling first and foremost because I'm presenting an argument that you can't dispute, that logically, emotionally, right, I'm showing it to you, where like at the end, you are led to one conclusion and only one conclusion. And it's an important point for you to get, because one of the things that I see often when I see critique, today, the only critiques that I do are from top ONE members. So when I used to do critiques from E5 clients, and now we've got phenomenal, folks like Paul and Michael and the team to do that, right? And so, but when I used to go through critiques, and even sometimes, rarely, but sometimes now, one of the biggest kind of mistakes, or one of the biggest kind of issues that I see is there is no structure. There is no structure. There is no argument being presented. It's all over the place. It's kind of like they're saying a lot and saying nothing at the same time. Like, right? Like I'll read this and where are you going? Where are you leading them? Like, right? Ultimately, I always say, you heard me say this so many times, but I can never say it enough, that every marketing campaign is about taking the prospect on a journey. It's about leading them somewhere. Where am I leading them? I'm leading them to a belief that I need them to have before I introduce my offer. A belief, right, that ultimately pre-sells them on the offer before I even talk about it. And so I know, you've heard me say so many times, right, that belief, that destination, where I'm leading them becomes my North Star. Everything that I do and say and show and present is leading them one step at a time to that belief. When you don't have that structure, when you think that it's merely the magnificence of your words, and that's it, well, you never know if you're on track or off track. You never know if you're leading them down the path, and you never know if you've said enough or you haven't. You can always say more magnificent words. See, there's a fundamental difference. Am I saying that word choice isn't important? Of course not. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that word choice, power words with no foundation underneath, is just a bunch of power words if you're not leading them somewhere. For me, it's very simple and straightforward, right? It's always at the end of the day in some shape or form, right? I'm introducing them to a unique mechanism, a new, different, and superior way to get the result that they want. There's always in some form or fashion a unique mechanism, right? I want all roads lead to me. I don't want to talk about a commodity. In other words, a solution that is available anywhere else or everywhere else. I want to talk about a proprietary solution, something that they can only get from me. I don't want to be pitching them, educating them, right, on just a generic solution that they could get anywhere, because then I'm just an educator and I'm inspiring them to buy something that they could buy elsewhere. I'm always introducing a proprietary solution. That solution falls under the heading of a unique mechanism. And then everything that I'm doing and saying and showing through education, through informing, is to show them what makes it different and, most importantly, what makes it better. I'm just trying to present that airtight, rock-solid, emotional and logical argument. In other words, at the foundation, I want to make sure that this is a rock-solid argument. I love when John got up here, and I'm going to talk about it in a second, the syllogism, and he was talking about argumentation. I almost started crying with joy inside, right? And I was almost tempted to talk about syllogisms in this presentation, and I didn't, and now I'm kicking myself because he did, darn it. But the point that I'm really trying to make is, like, most folks, they're making their word choice the priority, the focus, the aim. It's like, stop writing copy and start crafting arguments. Stop writing copy. Stop with the copy. Stop it. Stop sitting down and putting on your copy cap and thinking like, the astonishing. Okay, what's the next word that's going to, power word that I can use? Magnificent. What's the next one? Steroid-like, amazing, all this kind of craziness. And start with putting together rock-solid, airtight, logical, and emotional arguments. Prove to the freaking people that you've got something different and superior. You want to go back later on through the editing process and layer in better verbs, more powerful verbs. Cool, right? So I'm not saying that words don't matter. I'm saying that words matter when layered on a foundation of a rock-solid argument. A rock-solid argument. Be argument creators, not copy creators, not copywriters. Craft arguments first and foremost.